Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Dr. the Honorable Christopher Tufton, the Minister of Health and Wellness. His Excellency, Mr. Tian Chi, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China. We also have with us Mrs. Audrey Sewell, the Permanent Secretary here at the Office of the Prime Minister, as well as the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Ambassador Janice Miller, Officer in charge of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, and other representatives from both the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and the Ministry of Health and Wellness, representatives from the media joining us online for this virtual presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. And so I smile through my mask this afternoon, acknowledging that COVID is still with us, but we've come a far way, and we really have done a lot in terms of ramping up public awareness and, of course, our vaccination exercise. So let's get things started off. Our gracious presenters of these gifts of vaccines, His Excellency Tian Chi, the Ambassador of China to Jamaica, will address us. Ambassador.
The Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. The Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. The Honorable Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health and Wellness. Ambassador Janice Miller, Under Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Ambassador Ricardo Alico, Director of Protocol Department, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Mrs. Deirdre Mills, Director of Bilateral Relations Department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Mrs. Patrick Williams-Reyna, Manager of Public Relations Unit in the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, the Wagwan. Last Sunday marked the 49th anniversary of the establishment of our diplomatic relations. On this joyful occasion, it is my great pleasure to welcome and hand over the vaccine to Jamaica on behalf of the government of China. The vaccines represent the goodwill of Chinese government and the people to support Jamaica's response to the pandemic, and is further evidence of our deep friendship and solid strategic partnership. We are friends sharing will and woe. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, we have been working together closely to tide over difficulties and combat diseases side by side. At this moment, the spread of the COVID-19 virus is still ongoing, and we are determined to continue supporting our Jamaican friends within our capacity and sharing our experience and technology. Vaccines are the best weapons against the virus. Chinese vaccines have been widely used in the world and proved safe and effective, and will surely assist Jamaica's efforts to promote its vaccination program to safeguard the safety and health of Jamaican people. I firmly believe, under the great leadership of Prime Minister Holness, and with the joint efforts of Jamaican government and the people, Jamaica will win the battle against the pandemic and achieve economic and social recovery soon. China stays committed to operating with Jamaica to push forward our strategic partnership to a new level and bring more benefits to our two countries and two peoples. With solidarity, we are confident and capable of overcoming the challenges and bringing the pandemic to an end. I wish you and the Jamaican people safety, good health, and happiness. Big up Jamaica. I thank you all.
Ambassador Chi, thank you for your kind wishes, and yeah, big up China too, because I had reason to say this morning that it's not just about the formal relations that we have, but we really do in Jamaica feel the genuine love that the Chinese people have for us in Jamaica, and I can tell you, we feel the same way too. All right, and now let me ask the Honorable Christopher Tufton, the Minister of Health and Wellness, to address us.
Thank you very much. Madam Master of Ceremonies, Ms. Naomi Francis, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, colleague, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, His Excellency Tian Chi, Ambassador, the People's Republic of China to Jamaica, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, one and all, good afternoon, 12:15. Good afternoon to you. Vaccines, of course, are an essential tool in our public health response to the global COVID-19 pandemic. I think that is impatient of debate. And so I would certainly like to take the opportunity from the public health perspective to express, Ambassador, to you and your government and the people of China our sincere gratitude in the usual very strong spirit of friendship and support for each other of this donation towards a national vaccination implementation program, which, as you know, and as you have said, is so vital to our efforts to dealing with COVID-19, to reduce hospitalization, and more importantly, to reduce deaths. So we are in receipt of some 200,000 doses of the Sinopharm vaccine, 100,000 of which was donated. And I want to just say thanks again for that important donation. And, it is an indication of our enhanced capacity to respond to the pandemic, in that we have not necessarily desired this, but it has emerged where vaccine preferences and brands have become an issue. And while we recommend that the best approach to vaccine is to take the first one you get, because we do have a quality and a standard for vaccines here in Jamaica that meets all the important tests, expert tests, clinical trials, and so on, it is a reality that there are some preferences. And so adding another to the numbers that we have does add to the options that people have, and hopefully to the take-up that will follow as we seek to get as many Jamaicans vaccinated as possible. I want to recognize in this effort my colleague, Minister Johnson-Smith, who, as you know, Ambassador, is the anchor for these efforts, not me. I just use it. She finds it and arranges for it to get here. And her team, who are present here in the room, thank you very much for the efforts of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. To our health team, some of you are here, we also want to say thanks and to recognize you for the efforts that you have made, not just in this particular initiative, but every chance I get, I say for the last 18 months, because it has really been a journey. Prime Minister, when you appointed me, I never signed up for this. I was telling the truth. But we are where we are, and we try to make the best of it with your guidance, sir. Quickly, though, partnerships have always been vital for our successful response to the pandemic, despite our struggles that we have had to confront, as all other countries have. The government and people of the People's Republic of China have been unwavering in their collaboration, Mr. Ambassador, and with your stewardship here, we want to again recognize that partnership as a very important response. It is a tide that raises all vessels. We sink or we swim together, and I think the donation is an indication of that. The latest shipment of vaccines, as I said, adds to the pool, and I want to again use the platform that I have to encourage Jamaicans to go out and take the vaccine. We have options, we have quantities, we have inventory, they are properly stored, we have advisors through the medical team, the private sector collaboration, please, that is the most effective response. And just to remind you as I close, that you can do so through our website at the Ministry of Health and Wellness, through calling 888-1-LOVE or 663-5683, that's 888-663-5683, or through visiting any health center, any health facility, and getting the information that you require. I really hope that more Jamaicans will come on board. I believe this government has done a lot, to say the least, in just creating the awareness, creating the opportunity. It's no longer an issue of outlets. It's no longer an issue of lack of information. It really now is an issue of personal responsibility. And I think this, again, is another opportunity for us to exercise personal responsibility and take the vaccines as the most effective response to COVID. Once again, thank you, sir.
Minister, you're not saying it, but I'll take the moderator's privilege to say that it really has been a tremendous job that has been done. I really think that many Jamaicans probably wouldn't understand the intricacies, but it has been a true team effort. Recall in March this year, we hadn't yet had any vaccines, and that we have inventory, that we have choices for the Jamaican people, and that especially part of that choice is the Sinopharm vaccines. It certainly is a tremendous job that has been done in this regard. Well, the minister did speak about, this issue of, going out and getting the vaccines, and too, he alluded to just the tremendous work it takes. Somebody who does that tremendous work is somebody who does it behind the scenes. I sometimes call her a quiet riot, because really she has been very effectively quietly. And I think she's a tremendous, I keep using that word a lot, but she has been a tremendous blessing, not only because she understands the issues, but she gets things done. And so may I ask the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, to address us.
Thank you for your kind words, Madam Moderator. The Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, my Cabinet colleague, Dr. the Honorable Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health and Wellness, Your Excellency Tian Shi, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Jamaica, and Councillor Fan and other representatives of your embassy here to Jamaica, Ambassador Janice Miller, Officer in Charge, and other wonderful members of my incredible Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade team, including Mrs. Mills, who, if I am the anchor, she is the chain that makes sure that the vaccines come here. And I see our colleagues from the Embassy of the People's Republic of China nodding emphatically, because indeed she has been an incredible, incredible resource in this process. And so I'm truly happy here just to be a link between the presentations that have been made, and I will be extremely brief. But I am truly happy to be able to witness the official handover of the Sinopharm vaccines to the government of Jamaica by the government of the People's Republic of China. This has been quite a journey, but taken together has ensured that we are truly all gratified by the results which we welcome today. We know that not only members of the Chinese community in Jamaica have been awaiting their arrival, but certainly Jamaicans as well who value the traditional technology to be used. I wish to say that my team and I are so grateful for the support of our colleagues at the Ministry of Health and Wellness, with whom we've been working assiduously to get to this point. And we're equally appreciative of the efforts of our friends at the Chinese Embassy. Ambassador Tian, you and your team who have stood with us throughout this entire period have certainly can rest assured and know that your efforts have made the difference in providing Jamaicans with an important traditional option for receiving vaccines. I know that Prime Minister Holness will speak more directly to our appreciation, but I just wanted to also express my own personal thanks as Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade of Jamaica to Minister Wang Yi for what we have been able to achieve as partners and as friends between our countries. We are indeed looking forward to our continued friendly cooperation and strategic engagement in the interests of our people as we seek to recover from this pandemic, where we have recognized that no one is safe until everyone is safe. And we look forward to working together as we approach the commemoration of the Golden Jubilee of diplomatic relations between our countries next year. Sheshe, I thank you.
Thank you kindly, Minister. And I see they didn't have to adjust the microphone for either of us, which is good. And so, ladies and gentlemen, now it gives me pleasure to introduce the Prime Minister, who has not... oh, they're coming to... okay. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the Prime Minister, who has taken the lead in ensuring that he helps to get the message out. He helps to encourage. He helps to give the information. COVID-19 has really been one of the most impactful pandemics that we've seen, and he hasn't sat back. He's gotten his hands in the game. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the slogan from the Ministry of Health says, "Become the hero on the scene." I dare say he's the hero on the scene here. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness.
Thank you, Naomi. Allow me to acknowledge our Minister of Foreign Affairs, our Minister of Health, our friend, Ambassador Tianchi. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica, I'm very pleased to join you today for this formal handing over of 200,000 doses of the Sinopharm vaccine from the government of the People's Republic of China. We had hoped to welcome these vaccines on arrival at the airport. However, due to circumstances beyond our control, we were not able to do so then, but we're gladly doing so now. The arrival of these vaccines is the outcome of the strong, ongoing, and long-standing cooperation between Jamaica and China, and represents yet another dimension of the partnership that we have engendered since the establishment of diplomatic relations in a year that's special to me, 1972. In fact, earlier this week, on the 21st of November, we celebrated 49 years of vibrant, dynamic, and extremely friendly relationships between our two countries. These greatly appreciated Sinopharm vaccines also demonstrate the value of the evolving relationship which Jamaica shares with China and is in keeping with collective efforts to respond to an ever-changing environment as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. It should be noted, Minister of Health, and I read with great interest that, and Ambassador, please correct me if my statistic is off, that almost you have administered approximately 2 billion doses of the vaccines in China. That would be mind-boggling to Jamaicans, seeing that we have just passed 1 million doses administered. In fact, we are about 1,090,000 doses, hopefully by now. And you have done that very quickly. And we would encourage Jamaicans to. I promised myself, Minister, that I would not be making a pitch. but you know, I can't have such a platform and not make the pitch. We have to encourage our Jamaicans to get vaccinated. A lot of people are saying, I'm waiting to see. I don't know what it is that they are expecting to see, but already the most populous country in the world would have attained, help me, Ambassador, you certainly would have passed 70% vaccinated already. Well, there you go. 80% vaccinated. The largest, the most populous country in the world. India is well on their way there. They have gone over 1 billion doses already. So if you're waiting on evidence, if you're waiting to see, you only need to look to the most populous country in the world. So, you know, China has been a reliable friend and partner from the outset of the pandemic, providing much needed medical supplies and equipment to support our public health infrastructure. Indeed, it was less than 2 months ago that we had the official handover of 2 vaccination mobile units from the Yantai municipal government, valued at some $21 million Jamaican dollars each. These mobile units have greatly assisted our efforts to improve access to vaccines within communities across the length and breadth of the island. We are gratified for this continued show of solidarity from our friends in China. The Sinopharm vaccines that we are receiving today will add yet another brand to the suite of vaccine options available to the Jamaican public. I encourage everyone to make the most of the opportunity and to ensure that they protect themselves and others as we adjust to living with the virus. We have a collective responsibility in this endeavor, and it is my hope that we make steady progress towards realizing the objective of full vaccination. The government continues to do its part, respecting the rights and opinions of our citizens, but in as much as we can assist the process forward and protect the public health and set an example, as we always do. And as I observe this room, I can say that all our health protocols have been observed. And I can also say that everyone in this room is fully vaccinated. And so it will be for government events that are planned and controlled, that persons who are invited must establish that they are fully vaccinated. In fact, all public gatherings that are either staged by the government or would require the approval and endorsement of the government, attendance will be on the basis of being fully vaccinated. It is important that we do this, that though the government has transitioned its time, resources, and attention to living with COVID, we do not abandon or take our eyes off this threat that COVID still poses. And so as we transition and we refocus, we are still looking at COVID, ensuring that it doesn't get out of hand, but we have to move on with our lives. I think more and more people will understand that moving on with our lives means taking the vaccines. it will take some longer than others to realize, and some would only realize when the threat is at their doorstep or when they are on the hospital bed. I hope it will not be too late at that time, but the government has to move on, the country has to move on, and it means that in a society like ours, people have to take responsibility for their decisions and for their own health. So, Ambassador, I want to personally thank you and your staff at the embassy who have been patient and have been working tirelessly with our team at the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade to get these vaccines here. Please accept our gratitude for this support and know that we remain committed to deepening our partnership with you and, by extension, the government of the People's Republic of China. I thank you.
Prime Minister, thank you so much. You know, it is extremely important that, especially for members of the public who are looking on and those who consume social media, because sometimes information can carry them all over the place, that this function here, it signals something that the Prime Minister has said and committed to. It's showing that government is doing what it says. The Prime Minister has said repeatedly that the government will provide options, not mandates. Here is another option in terms of being able to be vaccinated. There is another option in the suite of vaccines available in Jamaica, and certainly the Prime Minister again pointing out that it is personal responsibility that will lead us through in terms of emerging and getting on with life in Jamaica. So, Prime Minister, thank you so much for those words. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let us then go to the exchange of the handover certificate between Ambassador Tian Chi and Dr. the Honorable Christopher Tufton. Gentlemen, if you may go in front of the table, and the Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs will witness the handover. Wonderfully done. And so we thank the government and people of China once again for continuing to partner with Jamaica, and certainly in terms of healthcare and providing products to assist in the fight against COVID. We thank you so much. And we thank all those who have tuned in to this broadcast of the handover for the Sinopharm vaccines to the government and people of Jamaica from the government and people of China. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. And once again, be the hero on the scene. Take the COVID vaccine. Have a good afternoon, everybody.